If you start AutoCAD for the first time, you will be greeted with this screen. Your previously opened project will be displayed over here, but we are going to start a fresh one by clicking on New. Here we are. This is the interface of AutoCAD 2024. The components of the AutoCAD user interface are as follows: Application menu, Quick Access toolbar, In-Canvas control, Drawing file tab, Ribbon, Pointer, View cube, Navigation bar, Status bar, Command line, User coordinate system. In today's video, we will be talking about draw list. First, we will start with the command line. To select, left click. Now it's asking you to specify your first point. In order to specify your first point, you have to do left click. Now you need to specify your next point, left click. Automatically a new line command will start. If you want to continue, specify your next point and then left click. Similarly, you can do left click, left click, left click. If you want to end command, press escape. If you want to repeat your previous command, just press on space. Now specify your first point, left click, specify your next point, left click. In order to end command, press escape. The shortcut of the command line is L. Type L, enter. Now specify your first point, left click, specify your next point, left click. If you want to continue the same process, if you want to end command, press escape. Now again type L, enter or space. As we can see, there is a number which is highlighted by blue color. By moving my hand, this number keeps changing. As we can see now, it's 34, 33, 31. This number represents the length of the line. So let's assume that this is our first point. Specify your first point by left click, left click. Now we can see the blue number starts from the 0. As we can see, by moving my hand, this number keeps changing. As we said, this number represents the length of the line. So let's assume that we want a line of length 10, type 10, enter or space. So we got a line of length 15. Automatically a new line command will start. If you want to continue, do the same process. If not, press escape to end command. The last thing we will talk about it for the command line is that if you want to draw a line at a specific angle, type L, enter or space, specify your first point, left click. As we can see, there is a number which is in the gray box. By moving my hand, this number is changing also. As we can see, 17, 19, 23, 25, 26, and so on. This number represents the angle of the line from the horizontal axis. So if you want to have a specific angle, press Shift plus comma. Now type your angle, let's say 90 degree. This line will be at an angle 90 degree from horizontal axis. So enter or space. As we can see now, it's at 90 degree from horizontal axis. Now specify the length. Let's assume that this line of length 10, type 10, enter. In order to end command, press escape. So let's move a little bit here. By clicking on middle button mouse, we can move in the drawing area like this. Now let's assume that you want to draw a line of length 20 in downward direction at an angle 45 degree. So all you need to do is just like this, type L, enter or space, specify your first point. So let's say that this is our first point, left click. Now all you need to do is just press Shift plus comma, type the angle 45 degree, enter. Now move the cursor downwards. As we said, we wanted of length 20, so type 20, enter. Automatically a new line command will start. If you want to end command, press escape. Let's do it once again. Type L, enter or space, specify your first point, left click, then move the cursor towards the direction you want. So let's say it's of length 10 in this direction, type 10, enter. Now let's say that you want here to draw a line at an angle 60 degree. So all you need to do is just press Shift plus comma, type 60, enter. Now specify your next point, left click. If you want to end command, press escape. The second command we will be talking about is PolyLine. Go to Home tab to select left click. Similarly, specify your first point, left click. Specify your next point, left click. Specify your next point, left click. In order to end command, press escape. So might of you might ask, what is the difference between PolyLine and line? So I will show you now. Type L, enter, specify your first point, left click, specify your next point, left click, left click, left click. Now press escape. We draw this using line command. and we draw this by PolyLine. So if we select this, it's gonna be selected as one object since it's drawn by PolyLine. But for the line one, if you select it, it will be selected individually. So this is the difference between line and PolyLine command. So the difference in short, PolyLine will be selected as one object and line is selected as an individual members. So line is a single straight object with two ends. In other hand, PolyLine is a continuous object with multiple straight and arcs segments. The shortcut for the command PolyLine is PL, type PL, enter or space, specify your first point, left click, specify your next point, left click, and similarly you can continue. To end command, press escape. But now let's say that if you want to draw an arc, go to command line and select arc, or else you can type A, select arc. As we can see now, it becomes curve. Now let's say that this is the end point of our arc, left click. If you want to switch direction, hold control button. As we can see now, the arc goes in the other way. If you want to switch, just press on control, left click. Now let's say that you want to draw a line here, just go to command line and select line. If you want to work faster, then you can just press on A, you will be switched to arc, enter. Now you want to go to line, press L, enter. To end command, press escape. Now let's talk about the third command, which is circle. Go to draw list. In order to select circle, left click. Here it's asking you to specify the center point, so let's say this is our center point, left click. Now move the cursor. Now we need to specify the radius of the circle. So let's say this is our circle, left click. Now again, select circle, specify your first point, left click. So this yellow line represents the radius of the circle. So now let's say that we want a circle of specific radius, so let's say of 3, press enter. The shortcut of the command circle is C, type C, enter or space, specify center point of the circle, left click. Now let's say that you want to specify the diameter of the circle, not the radius. So go to command line, select diameter, or else you can type D because it's highlighted by blue color. So type D, which means diameter, enter. Now this yellow line represents the diameter of the circle. So let's say that our circle is of 10 diameter, type 10, enter. Again type C, enter, specify your first point or center point, left click, go to command line, select diameter. Now specify the diameter, left click. Now let's assume that you want to draw a circle with the help of 3 points. So all you need to do, just type C, enter. Before you specify the center point, here in the command line you can see that we have 3 point, 2 point. Now let's say that we want to draw a circle with the help of 3 points. So select 3 points. Now specify your first point. Let's say that this is our first point, left click. This is our second point, left click. And let's say that this is our third point, left click. So with this we draw a circle with the help of 3 points. As we can see, first point, second point, and third point. Again type C, enter. Let's say that you want to draw a circle with the help of 2 points, type TP, enter. Now specify your first point. Let's say this is our first point and this is our second point. So we got a circle with the help of 2 points. Again type C, enter. If you want to draw a circle with a specific radius and tangent to 2 objects, go to command line, select TTR. The last one. As we can see, tan radius. Now specify point on object for first tangent of circle. So let's say this is our first tangent, left click. Now specify second point on object for the second tangent. So let's say this is our second tangent, left click. Now specify the radius. You can specify the radius by left click or else you can type it. So let's say the radius is 5, type 5, enter. So as we can see, we got a circle which is tangent to the other 2 circles. The last thing we will be talking about it for the command circle is that if you want to draw a circle with the help of tangent to 3 objects. So go to Home tab, here on circle click on this small arrow, select tan, which means tangent to 3 objects. Let's say this is our first tangent, second and third. So by this we have talked about everything related to circle. Center and radius, center and diameter, 2 points, 3 points, tan and radius, and 3 tans. Now let's talk about arc command. The fourth command we will be talking about is arc. Go to Home tab, click on arc. So specify your first point, left click, second point, left click. Now let's specify our endpoint. Let's say this is our endpoint, left click. The shortcut of the command arc is A, type A, enter or space. Now let's specify our first point. Let's say this is our first point, left click. Now let's say that you want to have a specific center, so click on center. Let's assume that this is our center point of the arc, left click. If you want to switch direction, as we said, press on Ctrl and move the cursor. See? This way. Now press on Ctrl, like this. Now specify your endpoint, left click. Type A, enter. Specify your first point. Let's say this is our first point, left click. Let's assume that you want to draw an arc with a specific length at a specific angle. So all you need to do is just type 10, enter. Now let's say that you want a specific angle here. Press shift comma, enter your angle. Let's say 45, enter. Now specify your endpoint. Let's say this is our endpoint, left click. Similarly, you can go to arc, click on this small arrow. You can see types of arcs you can draw. 3 points, start, center, end, start, center, angle, start, center, length. Now let's say that you want to draw an arc with the help of start, center and length. So selected. All you need to do is just specify your first point or start point, left click. Now specify the center point. Let's say this is our center point, left click. As we can see now, this yellow dotted line represents the length of the chord. In order to switch direction, press Ctrl and move the cursor. So now it's like anti-clock or clockwise direction, up to you. Now let's say this is the length, left click. The fifth command we will be talking about is rectangle. Selected. Specify your first corner point, left click. Specify your other corner point, left click. The shortcut for the command rectangle is REC. Type REC, enter or space. Now let's say that you want to draw a rectangle with chamfer angle. Go to command line, select chamfer. Now specify first chamfer distance for rectangle. So let's say it's 1, type 1, enter or space. Now specify second chamfer distance. Let's say it's also 1, type 1, enter or space. Now specify your first corner point. So let's say this is our first corner point. Specify your second corner point, left click. So now let's say that you want to draw a rectangle with a specific dimension. So all you need to do is just type REC, enter. Now specify your first corner point. So let's say this is our first corner point, left click. Now all you need to do is just press shift at, let's say this it's of a 0.5 length, comma, let's say it is 0.4, enter. So we draw a rectangle of specific dimension. Let's draw a bigger one. Type REC, enter. Specify your first corner point, left click. Similarly, press on shift at, let's say it is 4, 5, enter. Let's say that you don't want this chamfer, you want a normal rectangle. All you need to do is just type REC, enter. From here, command line, select chamfer or type C, enter. Specify first chamfer distance to be 0, enter. Specify second chamfer distance to be 0, enter. Now specify your first corner point, left click. Now press shift at, let's say it's 5, and then 7, enter. Similarly, you can go to Home tab On rectangle, you can see this small arrow, left click. Here we have rectangle and here we have polygon. So in order to draw a polygon, select the polygon, enter number of sides that you want. So let's say that we want a polygon of 5 sides. So type 5, enter. Now specify center point of the polygon. Let's say this is our center point. Now you have two options. The first option is inscribed in circle. The second option is called circumscribed about circle. So what is the difference between both? The first one, inscribed in circle, the polygon fits inside the circle. All the corners or vertex of the polygon touches the circle's boundary. The circumscribed about circle, the polygon is outside the circle. The sides of the polygon are tangent to just touch the circle's boundary. In both cases, the circle helps define the size of the polygon. You can think of it as inscribed, the polygon is contained within the circle. Circumscribed, the polygon contains the circle. So let's try each one. First we will start with inscribed in circle, left click. Now this yellow line, dotted line is represent the radius of the circle. So let's say it's of radius 5, left click. Again select polygon, enter the number of sides, so it's 5, enter. Now specify the center point, left click. This time we will select circumscribed about circle, left click. You might not get the difference between them. Let me explain it once again. First we will draw a circle, type C, enter. Let's specify our center point, left click. Let's say of radius 5, type 5, enter. The shortcut for the polygon command is POL. Press enter. So let's assume that we need 7 sides. Type 7, press enter. Now we need to specify the center of the polygon, so let's specify the center as the center of the circle, left click. Again we have the two options, inscribed in circle, circumscribed about circle. Select inscribed. Now we need to specify the radius. We will give it the same radius of the circle, which was 5, type 5, enter. So this is a polygon with the help of inscribed circle. Again let's draw another circle, type C, enter. Specify the center point, left click. Now let's specify the radius 5, enter. Type POL, enter. Let's assume it's of 7 sides also, enter. Now specify the center of the polygon. Similarly we will be the center of the circle, left click. Now we will select circumscribed about circle. Now we need to specify the radius, type 5, enter. Now you might understand that the difference is that the inscribed, the polygon is contained within the circle. As you can see here, polygon is contained within the circle. In the other one, the polygon contains the circle. Now the sixth command we will be talking about is ellipse. Go to Home tab and select it. Now specify the center of the ellipse. So let's say this is our center, left click. Now let's specify endpoint of axis, left click. Now we will specify the distance from axis to axis. So this is the distance, left click. And here we go, this is our ellipse. The shortcut for the command ellipse is EL, type EL, enter or space. Now specify axis endpoint of ellipse. So let's say this is our axis endpoint, left click. Now let's specify the other endpoint, left click. And this is the distance between the axes, left click. Similarly, if you go to the Home tab, ellipse, and click on this small arrow, you can see that you can draw it with the help of center, with the help of axis end, and with the help of elliptical and arc. So let's try this one, left click. First we need to specify axis endpoint of elliptical arc. So let's say this is our first point, left click. Now you need to specify second point, let's say this one, and our third, the distance. In ellipse you have two axes, major axis and minor axis. To make it easy for you to understand, let's draw two axes, minor axis and minor axis. So type L, enter. So let's say this is our major axis, press escape. Now let's say this is our minor axis, press escape. Now type EL, enter. Specify axis endpoint. Let's say this is our first axis endpoint, and this is gonna be our other endpoint of the axis, which is the major axis, left click. Now minor axis, left click. Here we go, this is our ellipse. It depends on the measurements, that's why it looks like a little bit circle, but this is how you can draw an ellipse in AutoCAD. The last command we will be talking about is hatch, which is in draw list also. Click on hatch. All you need to do just to select inside the shape that you want to hatch it. So let's say this is our ellipse and we want to hatch it. All you need just to pick internal point. Move the cursor here and left click. Now to end command, click on close hatch creation. The shortcut for the command hatch is H, type H, enter or space. In hatch creation window we can see that here we have boundaries, pattern, properties, origin, options, and finally close the hatch creation to end the command. From pattern you can select the type of hatch that you want. So let's click on this small arrow. Here we have a lot of patterns. So let's say that we want to use brick hatch. Click on it. Now select from here, pick points. Move the cursor inside the internal point to pick internal point. So let's say this is our internal point, left click. To end command, press on close hatch creation. As a structural engineer, we use hatch for columns. So type REC, enter, specify first corner point, left click. Now shift at, let's say it is 1, into half, enter. So here we go, this is our column. For example, we want to hatch it, type H, enter. From pattern, select ANSI31, click on pick point. So this is our pick point. From here you can change the scale of the hatch. As you can see now it's 1, so if we change it to 5, press enter. You can see that it looks different now. So let's change it to make it smaller. So we will make it 0.5, enter. Now click on close hatch creation to end command. That's it for today's tutorial. I hope you find it helpful and learned something new. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any further content. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video, inshallah.